What do you do about your garden when you're getting a little bit older and it's quite hard to manage, or maybe your parents are getting on and they can't look after the garden? Well, obviously it's going to get away from them. Like this garden I'm at today, it's very overgrown, and the lady just can't look after it like she used to. So you'll probably think about getting a gardener, but there's quite a few problems associated with that, and the biggest problem that I've come across is that a lot of time people are booked to come and see, they don't turn up, or they do turn up for a couple of times and then don't come thereafter. So that is a big problem. Also, not only doing the garden is important with elderly people, it's about knowing that they can trust you. The vast majority of my customers are elderly customers, in their 70s, some in their 80s, and a lot of them on their own. Now, looking after all the gardens I do for them, and a lot of elderly people have the traditional flowers that you associate, your hydrangeas, your peonies, so I'm well used to looking after those. And my customers got all the marbles and that, they'll tell you if they want something specific doing, or could they trim a bush or this, that, that's fine. But sometimes, when the mind's not as sharp as it used to be, I think it helps to be really patient. And I am by nature, but I always think, when I'm dealing with elderly people, what would it be like if it was my mum having a gardener? I'd want a gardener to do the proper job, what she wanted, and that she could trust this person. And so a lot of the customers that I deal with have access through securely locked gates, so I have the combination so I can get in there and do the job and then lock up. A lot of them have dogs, so obviously got to be careful that gates not left open or whatever. And some customers have what might be the onset of Alzheimer's or whatever, but I've got a lot of patience for listening to people, and a lot of my customers are quite lonely. So apart from doing the gardening, which I always try to do a good job wherever I go for whomever it is, a lot of people would like a little chat, and I think that's great, because I think we miss out on that, especially if you're elderly and a little bit lonely. So I have a regular customer on a Friday that she's a widower, and she's really, really lonely. If she would, I think she'd talk to me for all the time I was there, But a large part of what I do is being there for someone, not just to do the gardening, to know that I'm a caring individual and I do listen to them, and it just breaks up the monotony, perhaps, if especially if you are on your own, sort of thing. So if you are getting on a bit where the garden's a bit too much for you, or you've got parents or relatives that are too elderly really to keep on top of the garden, and it's going to start looking a mess, then call me. I'm bound to say that, aren't I? But I can say that with absolute confidence, knowing that the vast majority of my customers are elderly, and most of those are on their own. And I do turn up when I say I'm going to turn up. I do a good job, and I am trustworthy and do provide good company for my customers. If I didn't, I wouldn't have those customers. So if it's you or your parents, please give me a ring, or send me a text message, or you can contact me on WhatsApp. So my number, if you want to give me a ring, is 07545 17 229. And it's not too early in the year to start thinking about trimming back any overgrowth, weeding the borders, trimming hedges, etc. So I'm more than able to do all that, which I'm doing a lot. Obviously, you see this garden, which is all overgrown, right? And still, most of the gardens that I look at are overgrown and can still be tidied up and trimmed and made neat, even in January, February. So there you are. If you are struggling because of your age or health to do your garden, by all means call me.